So I assume there are a few guys out there like me that are very excited about the idea of becoming a dad. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the idea of having a little one to teach, or watching someone grow up and take on the world, or maybe it's just the excitement of the next chapter of life. All these fun, exciting, and positive feelings, however, are sometimes undermined by doubt, fear, and anxiety. All the intrusive thoughts sort of creep in, and there's this little seed that sits there and starts casting shadows over all the happy stuff. Now, most of the time, I'm disciplined enough to tell these thoughts to fuck off.
Go fuck yourself.
But every so often, I'll be going about my day and then
You're going to fail as a dad.
These are my top 4 concerns or fears or anxieties that I've had ahead of becoming a dad, no matter how irrational or rational. Number 1. Before my wife and I were ready to start trying, but knew that we wanted to start trying, I had this irrational fear of dying before we could have a baby.
I don't want to go.
And ultimately, I think it came down to leaving something, or in this case, someone behind for my wife that was a part of me. Yeah, it's very self-centered of me to think that she needs or wants that, but I think she'd appreciate the sentiment behind her not fully being alone and me not fully being gone.
He is exactly like you in every way. Except 1/8 your size.
It also boils down to my own legacy as well, which 100% agree that's narcissistic. But the idea of having contributed to this world and hopefully introduce someone who can be good and potentially do good in this world was something that was oddly important to me.
How can this be for the greater good?
The greater good.
Number 2, financial burden. I think about money all the time.
You show me a pay stub for $72,000 on it, I quit my job right now and I work for you.
It's like I'm hardwired to always know where the next dollar is coming from. And the truth is, the unknown costs of having a child scares the absolute shit out of me. I like to be able to plan forward and anticipate things, and this seems like an area that I'm completely unprepared for. I don't know how many nappies babies go through each day. I don't know how many clothes they need. I don't know any of this shit.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
The more I think about this, actually, the more I think that I can barely take care of myself, let alone another human being that's entirely dependent on my income.
Are you drinking any fluids?
Yes, plenty.
Number 3, and I guarantee I'm not the only one out there thinking about the impact, but sleep. Sleep routines and how kids will affect that.
I'm so fucking tired.
I'm not gonna lie, I probably struggle with the idea of this one the most, because I'm typically someone who has a good sleep routine and knows what my mind and body requires in order to function well. I'm also acutely aware of how terribly I function on a lack of sleep. So to say this makes me nervous is actually a real understatement, and it's probably the biggest mental hurdle that I'm trying to overcome. I don't know whether I should adapt my sleep schedule ahead of time and start trying to function on less sleep, or whether I enjoy what remaining sleep I have left.
You're asleep. You're asleep, Aaron. Here's a drink.
Oh, my leg.
Don't sleep so often.
Lastly, number 4, and it's probably one that a lot of people out there have thought, will I be a good dad?
I can't do it. I can't raise a kid. I can't look after him. I can't look at. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to chase after him?
It's not something that keeps me up, to be honest, but it is one of those creeping thoughts that pops in every now and again where I concoct this scenario and I think about how I'd handle it. The thoughts start looping around in my head and I start trying to predict what might impact my child in their future.
What are you pointing at over there? You got a book of bad ideas?
I got a book of good ideas.
There's an old saying I've heard a few times that I suspect will have some truth to it on this journey, and that is, it takes a village to raise a child. There are a few ways to look at this one. One interpretation could be that it requires the influence, nurturing, and mentoring by many people to raise a child, to function for themselves, and find their own identity and purpose.
Derek? Hey, Hansel. Are you trying to figure out who you are also? Yep.
Another interpretation, more relevant to my point, could be that you are not alone in this process. There can always be a network around you to help you raise your child. Okay, great. So there's all this fear and anxiety around raising your child. So what now, aside from figuring out how to manage and cope?
But I'll have you know, I'm not scared of everything.
Well, I heard about this term paternal instinct, and I was curious how this related to becoming a father, and whether it helped with reducing any of these feelings of insecurity. In my exploration of the World Wide Web, it seems there can be a hormonal shift in becoming a dad that might indicate this paternal instinct. Testosterone levels decrease, while oxytocin and prolactin levels typically increase. These shifts and changes occur to make us more responsive to the needs of a child as dads. So perhaps there is comfort to be found in the fact that you will literally undergo hormonal changes to prepare you to be a dad. Your mind might cast doubt and cause anxiety, but your body will take up the slack to prepare you for fatherhood. Maybe you've had similar fears and anxieties about the idea of becoming a dad, maybe not. Whatever the case, hopefully hearing someone else talk about it might put your mind at ease. I myself am finding some balance in dealing with these thoughts by giving in to the fact that I simply won't know what the experience will be like, and I can learn along the way. If you have any tips, tricks, or advice, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time.